Hi everyone, I'm Zach Reinhardt, here to review the new self-titled album from Tokyo indie rock band Falsettos. Falsettos is a band that I have followed for a good while now, and they've finally come through with their debut record on Peavine Records. I first heard of the Falsettos a year, maybe 2 years ago, when I picked up a couple of their demos after hearing them hyped up by one of my favorite writers, Ian Martin. The demos were roughly recorded, but I'm not typically one to complain about something being lo-fi, and they contained some good, accessible indie rock songs that contained a little bit of the kind of Tokyo Underground, post-punk sound, mainly in their rhythm section, with a bit more of a poppy and accessible indie rock tone over top of it, all accompanied by some pretty energetic performances and good songwriting. I then last year had the chance to see the Falsettos live when they came over to New York for a week and did a few shows, and I went and saw them, and they were really great live. And I picked up a little CD of some live recordings that they were selling at the show, and that was also really great. It contained some new songs that I hadn't heard. And so when I heard that Falsettos was finally coming through with a full-length record, I was pretty hyped. I had been waiting for a full-length album to review from the Falsettos for a long time, and they finally come through. However, I did have some concerns, mainly because they were signed onto Peavine Records, which, while it is a record label that has put out a lot of good stuff, a lot of their bands have a very clean, somewhat overproduced for my taste sound, and I was hoping that that wouldn't be too much of an issue on this album. But when I finally sat down with this thing, I was glad to find that while it is maybe a bit less lo-fi than I would make it if I was producing it, but most things are, it was a pretty good album, and it had effective production that did not take away from the performance aspect of it, and they kept a lot of the really fuzzy, kind of blurry guitar tones that I'm used to from Falsetto's music, and this came out pretty true to their sound that I heard when I saw them live. The album kicks off with the track 6, which is a kind of blurry mid-tempo indie rock track that comes together pretty well, has a nice guitar solo, some good, clear vocal harmonies that sound very nice on the chorus, and is a worthy rendition of the song that I grew to really like on the old Falsettos demos that I have. And it is probably worth noting that I am coming into this album being pretty familiar with all of the songs except for one, the second to last track, Plain, which is the only song that I have not already heard on this album. And the album just keeps getting better from there. The next track, Johnny, has always been one of my favorite Falsettos tracks, with its kind of brittle, aggressive guitar tone and its post-punky rhythm section. And the pretty clear production does not detract at all from that feeling on this song. The song is still kind of scuzzy and dirty in a way, despite being very clear and punchy, especially when it comes to the drums and bass. I love how the song Terrible Boy has turned out on this album. It's much softer and spacier than most of the other tracks on here, but it really uses all the kind of space in the mix very well, and the production really shines through on this song in particular. And the punky energy on another one of my favorite Falsetto tracks, Dig, comes through really well on here. The song is energetic and direct, and Miyuko's gruff vocals on this song sound really great. And I actually really like the kind of jazzy piano that we get in the kind of spoken word bridge of the song. One of the songs I wasn't so sure about coming into this is the rather long ballad, Kid Retreated, which is a song that they put up a while back on their SoundCloud or maybe Bandcamp, one of the two, that I listened to and I was kind of lukewarm on, honestly. I thought the original was a bit sloppy, and The vocal performance was maybe a little bit melodramatic at points, but listening to it here on this record and really sitting with it several times, the song's grown on me a lot. And what I at first perceived as being kind of melodramatic now comes through as really direct and kind of raw and emotional. This is also, I think, one of the better songs piano-wise, and there's piano or keyboards at least across the whole record, as they do have a dedicated keyboard player. And on some of the other more typical indie rock tracks, the piano seems so kind of clear and clean and pristine that it seems a little bit separated from the rest of the band. But on Kid Retreated, they really integrated it well into their sound, and I think it's a really beautiful song. And they really close off this album with a bang as well, with the closer Newborn Baby, which just keeps ramping and up in intensity, and has all these like keyboard solos and trumpet solos all over it. And it's a really kind of climactic, triumphant end to the album. And overall, I'm thinking this is a really great album. I, of course, expected a great album as the debut effort from the Falsettos, and they really pulled through on here. I was a little bit put off by how clean the production was at first, but on subsequent listens, it's still got enough grime, and it's still direct enough and raw enough to really put across the kind of energy that made me fall in love with the Falsettos in the first place. And I think that this is a pretty solid, good record. I'm feeling an 8 out of 10 on this album. If you guys are looking for some not too left field, not too out of the box indie rock that's just done really well, I really recommend you check out the Falsettos. Give this album a listen, and if you're in Tokyo, go see them live because they're great. So yeah, that's me. This was the new Falsettos album. It is self-titled, and moving forward for a little bit, I'm going to be stepping back on the reviews a little bit and just doing them every other week. I've just been really busy and tired with a bunch of other stuff. And we'll get back on the every Sunday bandwagon at some point. But for now, I'll see you guys in 2 weeks for another review. Peace.